She never raised her voice. She never called a press conference. But at 57, Julia Roberts did something she had never done in her 3 decades of stardom. She named names. 5 names. Not for drama, not for attention, but for truth. Each name carried a scar. Each story left a wound. And while the world saw her as America's, behind the smile lived years of betrayal, silence, and pain. This isn't a tell-all. This is a reckoning. These are the 5 actors Julia Roberts hated most, and the stories Hollywood never wanted told. In 2001, the cameras were rolling on Ocean's 11. Julia Roberts stepped onto set, expecting a stylish heist flick. What she didn't expect was George Clooney, not the charming Hollywood heartthrob, but the man who brought her coffee before sunrise, who made her laugh when she was too tired to stand, who sent her late-night texts that simply read, "Thinking about you." There was no script in those moments, no act, just something that felt real. Julia began imagining a life beyond premieres and paparazzi. A life in Lake Como, away from the noise. For the first time, she thought she had found something honest in a town built on illusion. And then she read the interview. Vanity Fair. George, promoting the film, was asked about their chemistry. His reply, "Julia is amazing. She acts well and kisses even better. That kiss alone will bring audiences back to theaters." But what the world didn't know was that the kiss wasn't just a scene. It was the moment Julia gave in completely. And now, it was Then came the final blow. A private photo of them, alone, offset, quietly handed to a producer. Not for money, not for scandal, for leverage to win a $2 million directing deal. Julia never went public. She simply sent a fax. "Thank you for making me famous by killing me." She never acted alongside George again. In 1991, Julia Roberts wasn't chasing fame. She was chasing transformation. A raw, haunting script landed in her hands, Ashes of the Rose. A European woman battling grief, silence, and aristocratic repression. Julia threw herself into the role. 7 months of workshops, private therapy research, rewriting scenes, producing. This would be her metamorphosis. But one day, the script vanished. No warning. Just a headline. Meryl Streep 2-star in The Last Silence, a film with nearly the same premise. Only now, the screenwriter had been bought out. The project rebranded. Julia's name, work, an emotional labor. To a friend, she whispered. "She didn't just steal a role, she stole a piece of my life." Julia withdrew. Night sweats, panic attacks, insomnia. Even hearing Meryl's name would send her fleeing the room. She never named Meryl in public, but from that day forward, her contracts became bulletproof. No more trust, only protection. Julia sat on The View to talk about grief, motherhood, the cost of fame. It was supposed to be vulnerable. Instead, it became a wound. Joy Behar leaned in, smirking, and said, "Do you think your success comes more from your legs and your mouth than your talent?" Laughter died in the studio. Julia stared, unmoving. Then she whispered, "You're turning me into a joke, a smiling piece of meat." She unclipped her mic, stood silently, and walked off. No storming, no tears, just quiet rejection. The internet erupted. Some praised Joyce, others saw it for what it was, cruelty cloaked in comedy. Julia said nothing for a year. Then she posted a video. "No makeup, no filter. I've spent my life being told to smile. On carpets, through grief." When asked invasive questions about my body, Joy isn't a talk show host. She's a killer in a dress. She walked off, not just a set, but a system. The Art of Falling was Julia's passion project. A raw story about mental health and codependency. She cast Bradley Cooper. He was rising, fast, charming, eager, and seductive. What started as chemistry became late-night rehearsals. And then, more. People warned her. "Are you sure?" She was. And then he began feeding the tabloids. Photos from the set, intimate moments, leaked. Then came the rewrites. His character softened, heroic, noble, more screen time. Julia resisted, but changes crept in, until one night, she found out Bradley had recorded their private trailer conversations. "For character research?" He shrugged. "Don't you want the film to be great?" That was the end. He was cut from press tours, erased from sequel talks. Julia later said, "Some men broke my heart, Bradley Cooper made me disgusted with my own judgment. Julia agreed to a small, emotional film with Sean Penn in 2005. She had one rule. No nudity, he said. Audiences crave truth, and your body is an irresistible truth. Julia broke down that night. She didn't sue. She didn't speak out. It was in the contract. Years later, at a quiet retreat, she said, "If anyone asks who I hate most, I won't hesitate. It's the man who put my body on screen without my consent." She never worked with Sean Penn again. Filming ended. Julia was proud. Then came the leak. A European cut. Julia, scene changing, not a scene. Not acting, just her, exposed, filmed without her knowledge. She confronted Sean. He didn't deny it. She feared the label. In press interviews, she smiled. She praised the script. She never mentioned the director.